Hello, welcome to 0 Hit Points. It's July 31st. I'm Ryan Miller. With me today is another professional podcaster. It's Matthew Amber.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
You're welcome. I'm excited.
As am I.
Been trying to get you on the show for a while.
It's scheduling has been difficult. That's true.
Up till now, it has produced very little.
Correct. And I am, again, thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me. And
Sure.
I look forward to the whatever conversation comes to fruition.
Oh, we just had it.
Oh,
I'm
good.
sorry.
Well, thanks for being here.
You're
And,
welcome. Wait, what?
Uh-huh.
This isn't...
And
Can't keep up the bit.
nope, that's it.
Man, that was good, though.
It could have gone on longer, I think. I don't know.
That lasted a good 15 minutes at least.
That felt really like at least half the show has got to be over at this point.
It'll be interesting to see what we cut out.
I like this Wii character.
It's how I refer to myself in the third, fourth group person.
You're very venomy.
The royal ween, as they say.
You know, I'm just not a fan of the band. I've never found them to be very enjoyable.
One time I went to see Pedro the Lion, maybe?
Wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
And he was opening for Spoon, which I didn't know real well. And that was kind of like an indie boom, right? You know, that's where, I mean, I was going to see Pedro. Yeah, I've explained everything you need to know. But I hadn't heard of Spoon yet. And I hadn't really actually experienced like indie bands that had kind of ridden that wave to semi-mainstream or didn't really care.
Yeah, man.
But then Spoon got up and was like, "We're rock stars. Did you know? Look
And
at this thing."
And you were like, I don't think you're the guys that Soundgarden wrote a song about.
No, there was maybe the front guy.
Sure.
First band I ever saw that mugged at a camera while they were playing. Let's put it that way.
I have an awesome photo that I took years ago when I got a photo pass to go take pictures of Roger Clyne and the Peacemakers. They're the band that did they used to be called the Refreshments. They were the band that did the theme song for King of the Hill.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Mm. So they were. I got kind of stuck in one little spot because I chose not to be on the stage in the side. I wanted to try and get them from the front, and I was kind of in the off to the right a little bit, and so I was shooting the guitarist a bunch. And at one point, Roger Clyne comes over and he sees me shooting, and he mugged for the camera, like he the horns right in front of me, and so I've got this great photo of him doing that. It's cool. It was
See, I feel like that
novel.
Seems appropriate. The Spoon dude was like opening his mouth weird and like.
Okay. To be fair, if he was playing guitar, that may have just been his guitar faces, because lots of guitarists do that.
No, yeah, but I mean,
there are people out there who are like, I like Spoon, and I know you're saying we're sorry.
I don't even remember any of their music. I didn't know it then. I don't know now. That I'm unqualified all the way around. So
fair enough.
Either way, did you ever do the thing where did you offer to take pictures for the band and then you had an in? Basically, was that? I had a friend who used to, anytime bands would come, he would just be like, "Hey, I'll shoot your whole show for free." I mean, he was a fantastic photographer, so.
Yeah, pretty much. That was almost exactly how it happened. I'd taken some photos. This was post PAX, I think, after I'd taken the photos that we have on the website of the Fallout figures.
Fallout, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the mannequins they had for Fallout 3, and I sent for whatever reason, they were like, "Hey, do you have examples of your work?" And I said, "Yeah." And I'd given them my website, and at the time, and they looked at it and they were like, "Yeah, you totally come take pictures. That'll be fun." And and so I went and I took the pictures, and they ended up loving. I took a photo. It's possibly my favorite photo I've ever taken. There was a woman standing in front of me, and she had her phone horizontal, and she was shooting the singer, and he was standing still, and so I took a photo of he's in the background, very blurry, but her camera phone and him on the phone perfectly clear.
Nice.
It's a cool shot.
Always wanted to try that trick. Never did it.
And I'd met them before, so they were it wasn't weird to talk to them or anything, but they were like, yeah, you can shoot wherever you want. And,
see, I've always wanted to meet people too. That's another thing.
Well, this is a thing where you have to kind of it's an indie band that has a really good following, but they're not making, tons of money. These are guys that
Right.
own their bus and they fix the bus. Like, so they're making their living doing this, but that's all they're. So asking them, they're like, yeah, if we don't have to pay for it, are you kidding me? 100%, we are in.
Yeah.
What is this show?
In other words, this is Zero Hit Points, the podcast where we talk about video games.
It's not a very good band. Look for us on Bandcamp and SoundCloud.
No, we're still on MySpace Music. That's the problem. But the reason we can lollygag, as it were, is that we've got another one of those shows, I think, this week. Just looking at the outline, I think we've got some time.
It's a dull surprise, to say the least.
No reason why we can't still talk about video games, though, because I feel like we still have 4, I guessed off the top of my head. So
I have not played lots of games, including the game that I did kind of start playing, and then I realized just how far I'd gotten the first time, and I'm so much further now that I was shocked at how much further I thought I had gotten before. And I was like, what the hell? I did not play this game for more than 25 minutes or so. I started playing The Last of Us, and I got to there's a point where I got to, I'm like, okay, I remember this. Okay, I remember that. Okay, I remember this. And now I'm like, it's been 45 minutes, maybe an hour and a half into actual gameplay, not counting all the cutscenes. And I'm like, I did not play this game for very long before. There's not going to be a ton to be said about this. This game has been over explained and dug into by everything and under the sun, 3 years ago when it came out. And all I can add to it is, so far, man, that story is killer. The acting is like outrageously great for pretty much everybody. Some clunky dialogue here and there, but for the most part, it's really, really well done. I think that my main issue with the game is and I'm thinking this is a hereditary thing for Naughty Dog
staple.
I just do not enjoy how their games play. Like, it's not bad. It's just there's something about it that feels not right to me. And maybe it's just so many years of being conditioned to the Gears of War stuff and Remedy's games and things like that where it feels smoother. This feels like it's like I felt this way with Uncharted too, where you go to get up against something and there's it's kind of vacuumy, but not vacuumy like Gears of War is. It's vacuumy in a different way. And I just feel like it's... And
vacuumy means...
you're getting sucked into the spot, whereas... But with Gears of War, it feels like when you'd get vacuumed into a spot, you'd go to you'd go to... It's that thing where you'd go to roll past the spot, but then you'd also try and dive into cover, and it would just kind of you get into the cover stance, and it would go... Sure. And you just kind of, like a UFO sucking you over.
Which I feel like happens a lot of times, and this would actually make sense for Naughty Dog, when they're trying to... Because one of the big things with Uncharted 2 was kind of the seamless way it integrated animations between not just cutscenes, but also gameplay.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of times developers do this because they want to... I would imagine want to actually smooth it out, make it look a little bit more natural or involved in a way that's not frustrating or, Dark Soulsy in that it's giving priority to the animation or something like that, seeing as storytelling seems to be the thing here with Naughty Dog especially.
Yeah, and that could easily be a portion of it. I honestly, I don't know. It's just with Gears, the easiest way to kind of explain this, you'd slide into cover, and as soon as you were there, it felt like even before, you could time it just perfectly where you'd consistently be able to hit that and run to another spot. Whereas with the Naughty Dog games, I feel like, and maybe again, it could be a timing thing. Maybe I just don't have it. It feels like that's not there though. And this
you're
game,
describing what I know of Uncharted so far. What I've felt about that gameplay.
And this game feels very similar. the game is not meant to have a ton of gunplay. It does have a fair amount because you're fighting between the creatures and the scavenger guys. So you're kind of getting a combination of the two. And the leveling up for your character, like adding the things that you can do, it's very slow. It's kind of plodding. It's fine. It doesn't really, it's not as big of a deal. I kind of forget about it, honestly. Right. But there are a few things in the game that are part of that are so expensive, and I don't know why they would make that so there are the clicker things, and the clickers are these creatures that are really hard to kill, and then on top of that they charge at you, and if they hear you, so you can't run away from them, you have to try and sneak away from them, and if they're charging at you, it's kind of like the only two ways of killing them is if you have a shiv or if you've got a gun. And guns you don't tend to want to use because it alerts all the other things. Shivs they're fine, they work great, but there's a perk type thing that you get after you get as much, it's the most amount of the upgrade currency, whatever it is, you can get. And I think it's 75, but they come sparsely and it doesn't seem like a lot of them. Gotcha. You get 5 here and there, maybe a 10, but and that is the one thing that if they automatically attack you instead of going directly into your dead animation, it gives you a chance to kill them with the shiv. It's weird. I don't know. It's the gameplay. It's fine. You just have to get used to it, I suppose.
It's never the thing you hear about with that game. I mean, you're right. That thing has been talked about to death. I mean, and made tons of Game of the Years that year. And I mean, this is actually, I want to say maybe the remastered came out 3 years ago. This thing's been out even longer. Yeah. But the gameplay is never the thing you hear about. Honestly, I can't think of one thing. It's always the story or the totality of it in a way.
Yeah, no, the acting is great. The story is pretty by the numbers, but good so far. It's it's playing out well. But yeah, the gameplay is I don't know. It's fairly stealthy by the numbers. With a couple of kind of fun attacks that you get to do with some of the melee weapons. There's a little bit of gore in those respects, but other than that, yeah, it's cool. The story's good.
Don't tell me, but do you know how it ends? Has that been spoiled for you?
I do know how it ends, yes.
Exactly? Because I know how it ends because I've seen stuff about The Last of Us 2, but I don't know the exactness of what happens or the shockingness of what it is that happens.
Yes, I have a pretty solid understanding, but I've never seen it. So I understand it to a point, and it's been so long that I'm kind of fuzzy on the details. So
yeah, that's kind of what I have heard. I've kind of gotten fuzzy on too. So I started the wrong game this week. You should have freaking started that one.
You definitely should have.
Are you doing the remastered or are you?
Yeah, it's the only one I have.
Yeah, you're PS3.
I'm PS4.
No, but I think you don't have a PS3 anymore. But why would you bust it out to play this anyways?
I would not.
It was a dumb question.
It was. The PS4 that I got came with the game. Came with Last of Us.
Oh, very nice. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. That's how I have it. The other game that I started picking up Steam with.
Is it on Steam? Is it on Steam?
It is.
Is that where did you?
Yeah. I Warframe. I am
still going.
Got sucked in. Okay, look. This is a free to play game. It is a free to play game. Everything you want, you can unlock in the game. I spent money on this game because I was having that much fun. I paid the amount of money that you would pay for a normal game. So I paid the $49.99 for one of their packs that they had, and I have considering how long ago I started Dead by Daylight, I'm already 4 hours over Dead by Daylight's timing with this game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Dead by Daylight, I'm at 25 hours, and here I'm rolling. I'm really close to 31, I think.
Jeez, what is Beth out of town?
So Beth was out of town a little bit last week, and then when she came back the next night, she got back in late, so she was super exhausted. So I just stayed up. I was actually this is one of those fun things. So this is a game that as I explained before was we
talked about this last week a bit, but yeah.
It was it's Destiny-like, but I think it does everything Destiny was trying to do, but does it better, and it's more customizable. It's just a little bit, it's different, but it's similar. It's very PvE. It's very much, you can do things by yourself. But you're often doing like the missions with other people. You never really have to communicate with them. There's a PvP.
Nice.
It sucks. Whatever. Yeah, like there's a chat.
It is Destiny-like. Dang.
There's a chat, but you really don't see a lot of people talking in it. And the people that do talk in it are asking questions because they're new to the game. And the other people are almost always like, oh, you do this. Oh, look at that. Like,
the question always, why isn't anybody else talking?
Yeah.
Like one of these guys.
Is anybody on comms? No, but like, yeah. So I've been really enjoying this to the point where I was having, I was kind of going through a down moment last week. We've had friends over for the past couple of weeks, and I have not been like, my mood has kind of been slowly going down, and it went.
Sure.
I had kind of a pitfall right after they left, and like they left, and then my wife went out of town, and I was just kind of like, I just want to die and murder everything. And that's why I ended up staying up so late with it. And I ended up staying up until 2 or 3 in the morning, which is like not normal for me at all. Yeah. But I kind of I was playing through it, and the missions are they can get a little samey, but this is a game where the grind is I guess the rewards feel a little more fruitful. The fact that you can grind out whole warframes, and you can grind out all the guns, and you can grind like it's I like it. It's kind of novel, and the other, like, as I've been progressing through the story kind of breaks up a little bit, where you have a number of missions that are kind of story to that, and they're kind of telling an overall story about how the galaxy is put together. But I finally got to the point where I got this thing called an Arcwing, which is like you can go into space with it, and there are space missions where you're actually flying around, and those
it's like
are
a ship or a different frame.
It is a ship, but it's a frame. So it's like it goes onto your frame, so you're still controlling your frame.
Oh, it's a frame.
Yeah, it's a frame for your frame.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's got wings, and it's got guns on it that you can change out, and you can upgrade and stuff. So it's like everything about this game is super customizable, which I do think is super fun.
Do all the frames are they tiered? Like, do some take longer to grind out than others, or is it pretty much just all equal and you just choose the one?
So I think it's not so much I think you can choose one, but trying to get it is part of the grind, because it's not something like you can go, I'm going to aim for this one, it's the only one I'm going to get. You can find all the things that you need, so that if you get the blueprint for it, then you can just build it. But you still have to do like finding the blueprint, and blueprints are some of them you can buy. I'm not sure if I haven't looked through buying blueprints or anything yet, because I just haven't had that need. It's all, I'm still very much so going through everybody says when you play this game, you're really tempted to go off and do 1,000 different things. Just finish out opening up the map, because the star map is huge and it goes out a ways, and you'll open up a lot more stuff. You'll get more things than you expect by actually following the star map.
Gotcha.
So I haven't had to look at the where you can buy blueprints for it yet. But I'm sure that, like, I know you can trade with people too, so I'm sure you can trade with people, get the blueprint, and do what you need to do.
So you're not necessarily in the end game yet, maybe.
No, I'm nowhere near it.
Okay.
Nowhere near it.
The end game being that part where you've done most everything, and now you just live in the world and choose your path, more or less. Like in Destiny, you did the single player, which is kind of like a build up to then doing strikes and this, that, and the other, and just doing that forever and ever.
Right. So the main difference here is that you are encouraged to build and get the warframes, because the frames are all very, very different. They have different pluses and minuses. They're good at certain things, and when you get to the higher level missions, knowing which frames are good for what and having build outs for different frames is kind of necessary. So it becomes more of your end game is trying to get all the frames so you can do the end game in a variety of different ways.
Like all the frames? You said there's like a bunch.
Yeah, there's like 12 or 13, I think. Maybe more.
Not as many as I misunderstood.
There could be more.
20 or something. Okay.
I don't know. There could be more.
But it's pointing you towards getting all of the frames.
I mean, it doesn't point you to it. I think it's just that's kind of the inherent part of the game is like you start off with one of 3 frames, and then as you play through, you're gonna go look up the other frames. You're gonna find stuff out about them and go, which one fits my play style, and then you're gonna try and get that one. And as you're doing it, you're maxing out your stuff. You're putting in levels and stuff.
Gotcha.
So it's I've got one of my frames to the max level it can get to right now, but I know it can go higher than that. So I've got other frames that I can.
I don't think that's the max level.
Yeah, it's the max level for right now. Max level later, who knows? It could be anything. but like things cap out, and then there's other stuff you can do with them, and the entire time you're also raising your own personal level of mastery so you can do more stuff. And that's all like each frame has its own level, each weapon has its own levels. You have your own level, but all of your stuff contributes to you gaining your own level. So like it doesn't matter if you can open up the whole galaxy and then change your frame to a 0 frame using the best guns in the world, and it's fine. You're not going to have all your powers right away. So you've got to level up your powers and all that. You're not going to have all of your bonuses because your frame won't have all of his or hers your cards won't be available yet. So like, and the other thing is like everything you collect is shared between your frames too. So all of your frames, you can build them out with multiple customizations, multiple different loadouts, different cards, different setups altogether.
That's cool.
And
smart too.
You don't have to like screw with like, I've got to take a card off of this guy to put it on this person because you're only playing one at a time.
Smart.
It's cool. It's fun, man. It's fun.
Warframe.
I like it.
On sale now.
Yeah, for the low price of free.
For free.
On all platforms.
That sounds like an eventful week, actually.
It was eventful. There were events. What about your events? Did you have any?
I finished Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. That's a good game. We've established this.
Mm-hmm.
It's got me thinking about what Crystal Dynamics and Square are doing with that new Avengers game, basically.
Sure.
And I know they won't, but they could kind of just do a new one of these. And I'd be pretty excited.
That's all I want. I just want another new Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Give me 3, give me 4, give me 5.
I know they won't. But as much as go back, everything we've said good about this game, we're talking about the game. Like the story and kind of the look are all pretty much garbage. Like they haven't held up. The story takes elements from Civil War, and it's neat in that you can fanboy on some stuff, especially the amount of characters in there, or
right.
When Goliath shows up or something like that, you're like, oh, this is and then you kill him and you're like, oh, I did that from the comics. It's as pulpy gets. Like it's not supposed to be good comic book. It's supposed to be kind of trashy comic book,
I don't know that
I mean, maybe it's really good in that way.
I don't know that I'd go that far. I mean, I think it's supposed to be fun comic book. I don't know that I'd call it trashy.
Well, you know what I'm talking, like kitschy. It's not like
it was Marvel comic. It was a Marvel comic video game before Marvel comic movies came to life.
Yes,
made them more legitimate.
Exactly. Yes, that. Like if this thing came out nowadays, like it would be
super serious and probably not nearly as enjoyable.
Right.
It would be that crappy X-Men
we'll find
game.
Out.
Remember that crappy X-Men game that came out that nobody played? You didn't even get to be an X-Men. Like you weren't a regular X. You were a new recruit, and you had to build your character. And I think it was made by
was that the Silicon Knights one?
Yeah, Silicon Knights. That was the one. I don't remember what it was called. I just remember it was
it
not
just Uncanny or something like that.
I don't think it was that.
Yeah,
I don't think it was that good of a title.
True. Anyway, yeah, Marvel Ultimate Alliance is good too. The second. How do you feel about the first one? Did you get enough of an itch that because we bought the pack, didn't we? I got both. I know I did.
Oh, do I want to go back to the
No,
yeah.
Was it so? Did you enjoy it so much that I even asked myself this question? Would I go back and play the first one now?
I would not go back and play the first one now.
I don't think for a while at least.
No, and on top of that, I think my main issue is I remembered that this was a good game, and the first game was a good game at the time it came out, and that this was a better game than that. Like it improved on it. And
I don't remember enough to agree, but I kind of agree.
I just don't think that first game is gonna play well.
Let's not ruin it. Let's go out on a high note.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
And then I texted you when the agenda took about 5 minutes to put together and didn't have a whole lot in it, and said, "Oh, maybe I'll start a new game then, so I can talk for longer than however long that just took me for."
Don't
for
start it.
Right then.
Don't start it. Now go quit it and go start The Last of Us.
Yeah, it's too late.
No!
I mean, I still could. Yeah. But so I started, we talked about this before anyways. I started Tomb Raider, the first one, the definitive edition for Xbox One.
Tom Braider.
Because I have the second one is still with Game Pass since I'm still on that thing. And then the third one's coming out soon, which not like I would get that while it's brand new. I mean, I've played the first one through before and I liked it. Obviously, I'm playing it again. I liked it enough to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not like super excited for the new one that's coming out that I'm going to buy it day one or anything. So it's a weird proposition anyways.
I am honestly very curious about those, the people who are like, who is hyped up for that game that you're pre-ordering it? You know, like. I
mean, Tomb Raider's a franchise that has the fans.
Right. But I'm saying like the games disappeared for a while and then they did this the remake that like the ones that you're playing now.
Right.
I get that they're good, and I hear that they're like. It seems like everybody's they're good games.
They're good games.
I do not hear people like clamoring for these games though. Like I do not hear people going. People like making articles about, man, I can't wait for the next Tomb Raider. You know, like.
I don't think any of them are making Game of the Year lists. Let's put it that way. Like they're getting mentioned, maybe but they're honorable mention games. Basically, is what it seems like.
So I'm going to let you finish, but I want you to keep this in mind.
All right.
Is this a game that when it came out, should it have been considered that? Like, is the game good enough to at least be in the conversation? Or is it just like, it's a mediocre game, and not mediocre being like bad. It's just an okay game. It's a good game. It's not a great game.
I'll tell you what it is. It's better than mediocre. They are good games, but they are very obviously Tomb Raider Uncharted games. Like they are very obviously doing that thing that Uncharted did and did get all the praise for. And
sure.
I haven't played the second. I played the first Uncharted, which is not the one anybody talks about. I'm pretty sure this Tomb Raider came out after the second one kind of hit it big, the second Uncharted. So
I believe you're
when
right.
I play Uncharted 2, we'll be able to see how well they did. But on its own, just playing it, like they're good games. They really are. They're just doing something that a lot of games had done already. And I feel like there were some other, if I had to trace the DNA, this is the same thing that God of War is right now, right? It gets rebooted. It's that adventure game, and it's done tightly. Like the skill trees are all great and fun to go through and fill out, and they give you some cool abilities. It's you've just seen it before. As good as the game is, it's not breaking a lot of new ground. It's just they did a thing that people like really well.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, God of War, the thing that you hear about with God of War is not that, again, it's not that the gameplay is masterful. It's the gameplay is good. You hear that the story is masterful.
Right.
And
the story in this one is I think I might enjoy it less the second time around. It's not number one, I didn't realize how much the movie, the Alicia Vikander movie that we talked about not too long ago
on bookclubformovies.com.
Like Himiko is in this. Like that's this storyline. I don't believe she's reconnecting with her father anyways, so that's different. Mm-hmm. But the Tomb Raider historical part of it is this story of Himiko, and I think it's Himiko, however you say it. I
had actually wondered that during the movie if it was close, because I haven't played this game yet. So
I'm just 2 hours into it. Literally, this is 2 hours ago when I was like, I'll start a new game before we start recording, and it's
silly Billy.
It's more character based. Like the first movie really focuses on Alicia Vikander more than anybody else. Mm-hmm. This one does that, but it brings in like 5 very bespoke characters. Like there's the scientist that's got
science in their hand,
questionable motives maybe, or like the head dude who's
just
a reality TV archaeologist kind of, and then her best friend is there, and then there's the kind of the deckhand who's this
a literal hand
who's really faithful. Yeah,
he's just a hand from yes. Zelda. He couldn't find any other work.
So yeah, I don't. On its face, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot they kind of did it this way, and it doesn't seem real strong at first because it seems really obvious. especially for how serious the game is. Like the game isn't really that jokey. The game itself, some of the when they get together is kind of lighter.
Friendly banter.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're playing the game, it's all serious and death. And remember, they tried to do that thing, or you might have heard they tried to do that thing where, this is a prequel or a reboot, so she's not a stone cold killer at first. She feels bad for killing a deer, and there's a whole tiny cutscene. And first time she kills a guy, I haven't gotten there yet, but she kind of, it's a big issue. And then she kills 500 people. So.
Man, I want to play it just so I can get past, watch Lara Croft get over being like, I'm a humanitarian. Shut up.
It is good. I do recommend playing it. You should play it.
Yeah, no, I will. I might do that after Last of Us.
Yeah, and I might stop this and do Last of Us. So there you go.
It'll be great. Let's swap it up.
That's it. That's all I played this week. And man, check out the news. Are you ready? There was one thing I pulled that I thought maybe could be a thing. I don't even know. I feel like probably not.
Oh, I'm just not on the edge of my seat. I'm sitting comfortably back. I am relaxed and not excited in any respect. Please continue.
Good. We learned that Fallout 76 is getting a beta in October. That's about it. The only thing I thought we could do with that is ask you what your excitement level's at. I know you've pre-ordered it. Is that right? Mm-hmm. You're a consummate Fallout fan, aficionado, professional.
I like all the Fallout games to a degree.
Historian.
Yes, that's
resident expert.
Resident Evil.
And weren't terribly excited for this thing for maybe an entire day before you pre-ordered it.
Yeah, I'm still not terribly excited for it, but I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll see what the beta has. I am looking forward to it because I'm willing to bet that it'll end up like right on my anniversary. And I'll say, sorry, honey, gotta play video games for my very successful podcast.
Do you know if you got selected or if you will be?
Everybody who pre-ordered it got beta access.
I heard that it's not a for sure.
Well, I got my email a long time ago
did you?
that said, you've been invited to the beta, sign up. And I did. And they said, okay, we'll let you know when things happen.
Oh, okay. Maybe they changed it. I heard you get the game, you get a code that you go enter somewhere, and then they'll let you know if you get selected.
Yeah, I feel like that's how it worked, except it wasn't a let you know. It was just you had the code and you've been
selected.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, that's in October. I guess we'll find out. Game's out November 14th, so...
It's crazy. Absolutely bizarro.
Heck of a beta, I guess.
Yeah, we'll find out with the beta. If the beta goes well and it actually people are excited for it, maybe we'll do another Fallout giveaway.
Hey, we did one of those.
We did.
Was that Fallout 4, didn't we?
It was. It was for Fallout 4.
If you won the Fallout 4 giveaway and you're still here, let us know. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, send us an email. Podcast at 0HITPOINTS.com. This is a really short week. Here, I've got
nothing.
All right, shut up for a second.
Yeah, sorry.
It's
my fault. You should have told me that so long
every
ago.
time.
Are you trying to say something right now?
This is why our show does so well. I step on you, you step on me. The thing is, and here's what I will never understand about this show. Why don't you ever edit me out like all together? Just entire sections where I'm like saying things under my breath and under you just delete it. Just get rid of it.
I edit us out in equal measure.
Yeah, but that's the problem. One of us should not be of equal. You should not be. Equality here is you're more equal than me. That's what I'm saying. SeeHitPoints.com. Hey, look at that. It's going to be like a 44. No, it'll be a 38-minute show.
No, I just said I'm going to edit it. This thing's 20 minutes tops.
That would be great. You can
0 hit points.
Speed up
check it out.
Speed up the audio too, so we sound more chipmunky.
Chipmunky.
That's what we should do. Is if we ever have long shows, just speed them up.
Remember when I sent you a link to that Alvin and the Chipmunks song that somebody slowed down?
Yes, it was great. I listened to that with the wife, and we had a few moments because we went through the rest of their catalog.
It takes so long.
It was the longest version of, what was it? Jesse's Girl or something?
I don't remember. Yeah, was it a Christmas song?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't.
Jesse's Girl is not a Christmas song.
Jesse's Girl, that's what it was. Yeah.
Very similar to Christmas songs in many respects. And that being said, hey, come to 0HITPOINTS.com. Go to 0HITPOINTS on the Twitter. We were there. Get a hold of us, podcast0HITPOINTS.com. Come by on Thursdays for the book club for movies. This week, we checked out a documentary.
We did. We're so serious this week.
About food. Jiro dreams of sushi.
Is this a hero?
They say it 100 times in the movie. They say Jiro.
Really?
Jiro.
I was reading the English, so tune in for that. It's going to be a fun show.
It doesn't say hero in the English.
Dang it. Now I've got to go back and watch it again.
Nice work.